He did it. Lucy killed Mary Brighton. It was Lucy all along. Sorry, it's not Agatha. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to We Sibs, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we break down your favorite movies and TV shows. Man, it feels like it's been forever, but we finally got a new episode of The Nevers. This is episode 4. It's going to be a breakdown review. Biggest takeaways all rolled into one video. So hit that subscribe button, grab a snack, and let's get into this one. So we had a lot going on from Malady to Mary Brighton, revelations we saw through Myrtle, as well as True. True's obviously feeling a whole bunch of guilt, so we'll start there. She feels guilty and responsible for the death of Mary Brighton because she's supposed to be the person who sees things happening before they do. So she's kind of drinking herself into a stupor. But she obviously finds out later on that Lucy, well, she suspects that somebody in their own midst was responsible for tipping them off. Now, we already saw a gunman guy, armed gunman guy. He was the one who shot Mary Brighton, and he was delivered justice. I mean, he died right there on the spot. But that wasn't enough for Truth. She needed to know who had tipped off the gunman to let them know that this was where this event was happening, where Mary would be singing. Now I want to segue to Mary real quick because Mary's voice was transmitting a message, okay, and this message was picked up by Myrtle for whatever reason. Now Myrtle was saying that she was always able to understand what Mary Brighton was saying, but she wasn't always able to communicate it. Let me get some pictures up here for you. So as Mary was singing, she was getting the message saying, I had to recover my strength. We're underground. Come and find me. That was kind of the last thing she said before Mary was shot by the gunman. And so I think this is Rosa, the girl who got lobotomized underground by the people who are working for Lavinia Bidlow. Okay, now what's interesting, and I'll tie this together, the Lavinia Bidlow underground stuff. True, okay, was suspecting that Masson was responsible for the death of Mary Brighton, but Masson turns her on to Lavinia Bidlow, saying, look, this is a person who knows everything, and we know very little about her. We know she has ties with the Beggar King and also with True. There's no way she didn't know. So True ends up following those breadcrumbs. And we find out later in the episode, obviously, that Lavinia is housing all of these people. We found that out actually in the last episode. But now it seems someone is communicating from underground. Some real trippies type of stuff. Let me know what you think that all those messages actually mean down in the comments below. But yeah. So, yeah, other than that, we had Bonfire Annie going to torch one of Masson's warehouses. This is what True wanted to do because she wanted to get back at Masson for apparently killing Mary Brighton. She just wanted to kind of shake him up, but she didn't want to kill anybody. And obviously, that's where we get the reveal that Lucy was the Judas. Lucy was the culprit, betrayed them all, and tipped off the gunman and whoever he's working for to the place where Mary Brighton was singing. Now, we know that Gun Arm Guy had strong ties to Malady. We thought he was working for Malady, but I guess since she got shot, she pretty much got abandoned. I mean, Bonfire Annie left her, and now the armed gunman guy left her. I guess she's on her own. Now, speaking of Malady, she was choking out she was in the precinct choking out one of the police chiefs, saying how angry she was that, they were blaming her for the death of Mary Brighton. And she loved Mary. That was a horrible accent. She would never do anything to hurt her. She only hurts the good ones, as she says. And this is because of her kind of demented view that she needs to hurt people who do good. And which is weird because Mary Brighton she does that the most. And if you remember a couple episodes ago, Malady had a whole dialogue talking about how she doesn't understand Mary and doesn't like her because of what she does. She makes people feel good. She makes people feel hope. And Malady, because of her trauma from being abused, she can't reconcile with that. So she has to hurt and silence people who cause people to feel good. That's kind of her MO. So the fact that she was saying she would never hurt Mary Brighton just seems a little inconsistent with her character. Now, regardless of that, she gets knocked the heck out. I mean, she jumps out a window and then begins to run, and Mundy dang near kills her. I mean, she's obviously highly resistant and tolerant of physical damage. She was getting her head, banged against that wall, and didn't do much. She was still breathing by the end of it. She was dazed, but yeah, so she was saying in the jail cell to her god or whatever. She was saying, I'm your instrument. Why won't you play me? Why aren't you using me? Basically, and so that kind of goes. I mean, what can you say? She's crazy, but that's where we leave her in this episode. But yeah, overall, we find out that Lucy was responsible for tipping off the gunman to Mary Brighton's location and the place where they would all be having their little shindig. Now, another character who was brand new was introduced, Jack Nimble, or Nimble Jack. Now, he has some kind of projections he can create. It seems almost silicon based, but it's kind of like ice, like iridescent ice. I don't know. Anyway, it's fire resistant. Maybe it is ice, actually, because, the way that it counteracted Bonfire Annie's thing. Anyway, he's tied in with Lavinia Bidlow, who again is shrouded in mystery, and so we'll probably get more information about him as well as Lavinia Bidlow via his character, Jack Nimble Jack. Speaking of Lavinia, her brother Augustus finally made well with Penance. As you could tell, as you remember, he was extremely rude to Penance at the party because Lavinia was like, "You're not going to associate with these touched people, okay?" And so he was rude to her, but he makes good on that, and they're able to reconcile their friendship. There was a funny exchange where she actually thought he was confessing to killing Mary Brighton, just like casually, "Hey, by the way, it was me." And that was funny, but obviously that's not what he had done. His crow powers are super weird. Like with every episode, let me know in the comments below what kind of weird, odd power would you like to have. But yeah, guys, this was a great episode, and obviously it ends on that cliffhanger with that message from Mary Brighton being transferred through, I think, Rosa, the girl who got lobotomized, down underground, where you guys remember that ship that crashed at the end of the first episode that put the pixie dust, for lack of a better term, down on everybody, and that's how everybody got touched. That's how everybody turned. That crashed, and it seems Lavinia's the only person with access to that crash site, and she has those touched people down there mining and figuring out all that stuff. So that's where the episode leaves us. It seems like somebody's reaching out from there specifically to True. True obviously had an emotional reaction because she knows who is speaking. So we're probably going to find that out in the next episode. But of course, let me know your predictions down in the comments below. And also like the video, guys, if you like the video. If you're into tech, I have the Granny Geek Show. That's on our sister channel, WeSibs. So if you want to see me talk about tech and my setup and all this kind of stuff, be sure to go check that out. I'll leave links to everything down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I was about to say it's the Granny Geek Show. Peace.